All right, so we are going to be going over solving equations and solving inequalities. And we're going to talk about their similarities and their differences. So, looking at solving this equation, we're going to start with the equation. I'm going to do some highlighting here, and I'm going to use some yellow and blue. And I'm going to highlight all of my terms with variables in yellow. And then I'm going to highlight all of my terms that have constants in blue. So the reason I'm doing this is going to help me organize my thoughts and organize the numbers that need to go together or the terms that need to go together. Okay, so right now I have two yellows on the same side of my equation. I'm going to put a bar down underneath my equal sign so that I know that whatever I do, if I move a term, so if I have to move that blue term to the other side with the other blues, I have to do inverse operation. Now, when they're on the same side, I can just combine them. So, for example, these two yellows, they're both positive. So I can just go ahead and add 3 and 4. 3 plus 4 is going to give me 7. So this is going to become 7x. I have done nothing with the 2 yet, so I'm going to go ahead and bring that down. Done nothing with it. Well, I can go ahead and combine these two blues on this side. So these two, so negative 57 and positive 3. So that means when you have a positive and a negative number under addition, you're going to take the difference. So 7 take away 3 is going to give me 4. So this is going to give me 54. I'm going to look at the sign of the higher number. So 57 is higher than 3. 57 is negative. So this 54 is also going to still be negative. All right. Now I'm going to go back and I'm going to highlight again. Again, this is helping me keep being my thoughts organized. I'm going to highlight all of my constants in blue, and I'm going to highlight all of my variables in yellow. So if you notice here, now I only have one term that's yellow, and then I still have two terms that are in blue. So I'm going to go ahead and make sure that I move this blue term that has 2 with the yellow over with the other blue. I don't want to move the blue over with the blue and yellow because that's not getting them on the same side. I want to get all of the yellows and all the blues on the opposite sides. So we're going to move this 2 over the equal sign. So since we're moving it over the equal sign, I have to do the opposite, or rather the inverse operation. The inverse operation of positive is going to be negative. So we're going to subtract 2 from both sides. We've done nothing to the 7x, so I'm going to go ahead and bring that down. So 7x, this is gone. And let me see, my work is getting messy here, so trying to make this neat as possible. Okay, so this is gone. Okay, that became 0 because 2 minus 2 is 0. So I'm going to go ahead and bring down my 7x term. Now I can go ahead and do negative when I have two negatives under addition, because we're saying negative 54 minus 2. So again, if you think about it, this is in blue. So both of these are blue. So I can go ahead and combine those two. So negative 54 and negative 2 is going to give me negative 56. Okay. Now I'm going to look, we're not quite done. We do have one blue term on one side and one variable on the left side. So at least we're almost there. We're almost done. Now we're at the point where we can go ahead and divide. We're going to divide by our coefficient. The coefficient of x is 7. So I'm going to divide both sides by 7. Now a negative divided by a positive. So let's do our triangle. So we got positive up here, negative, and a negative. When I have a positive and a negative, that leaves me with a negative. So if negative 56 divided by 7 is going to give me negative, and then 56 divided by 7 is going to give me 8. So my solution is negative 8. All right. Now we're going to talk about the inequality and talk about all the things that we're going to do. We're literally doing the exact same steps because if you notice, the only thing different between these two equations is our symbols. So the first equation, we have a equal sign, and the second equation, we have an inequality. So I'm going to go ahead and highlight everything just like we did before. And I'm going to go ahead and put a bar down the middle just so that I know some things that are working out here, just like we did with the equal sign, okay? So we're going to go ahead and combine what we can. So I can combine 3x and 4x just like we did before. That becomes 7x. I'm going to bring down my plus 2. We're going to go ahead and combine negative 57 and positive 3. That gives me negative 54. Again, we're going to highlight, okay? I know that I'm going to subtract 2 from both sides. So again, I'm going to go ahead and highlight here. I didn't before on both, just so that you know that you can combine those. All right, so that becomes 0. Bring down our 7x. This combines and becomes negative 56. Then divide by 7, just like we did in the normal equation. That's going to give me x is, now let's talk about our symbol. Our symbol is greater than or equal to negative 8. Okay. Now let's talk about how we would look at this on a graph. Because when we're looking at an inequality, when we're looking at a solution of an equation, your value, when we talk about a number line, okay, we got negative 8 is here, negative 7 is here, and negative 6 is here, unless this is x-axis. Our negative 8, that's our solution right there. That's the only solution. We're not looking at our arrows. We're not shading any other areas. Negative 8 is the only value that would make that equation true. Now, the inequality, we have a little bit of a different scenario. I'm going to go ahead and draw my number line just like we did the equation. So I've got negative 8 here. I've got negative 7 here. 0 is over here on the number line. We've got negative 9 on this side. Now, one of the things that can help you with an inequality is to look at the direction that your arrows are going. I'm going to do green just so that you can see here. So as you can see, that inequality arrow is going in this direction. So that means when I plot, so here I'm going to put a circle at 8. That means when I shade, I'm going in the same direction. My arrow is going to look like our inequality symbol. Inequality symbol looks like that. So it's going in the same direction. Now, there's some other tips and tricks, but everything going to the left is negative. Everything going to the right, or rather, not necessarily negative. Everything going to the left is smaller than, and then everything going to the right is greater than. You can look at your left hand. It's going in the same direction as the arrow. I don't have a video. I'll have to do a video on that, but yeah. Now let's talk about the circle here. Because we have a line underneath, we're including negative 8. If there was no line underneath negative 8, we would not be including negative 8. Okay, now let's talk about our solutions, because the solutions are different now. That means in this case, I'm including every value. So I'm including negative 8, negative 7, negative 7.5, 0, 1, 2, and so on, all every number that's going to be what? Larger than negative 8. We can do in between. We can do negative 7.9. Negative 7.9 would be a solution that would fall into this correct equation of value of x greater than or equal to negative 8. Okay. Any value that we pick to the right of negative 8, including negative 8, is going to be larger than negative 8 because everything going in this direction is going to positive infinity. All right. That concludes this quick lesson on inequalities. Be sure to watch the other videos if you need further assistance.